Ever tried to create an AI image or video and ended up with something totally off? Yeah, same. I've made so many mistakes learning how to prompt properly, but I also discovered 5 powerful tips that completely changed the outcome of my images and videos. This is my journey, and today I'll show you how I fixed it. Let's start with section 1, which is hallucinations. So something I found out with ChatGPT is that when I am creating a lot of images and I write a new prompt, it carries aspects from the previous image. As you can see here, I created images of a rose garden with pink and yellow roses, as well as an image with blue butterflies before that. Today, I told ChatGPT to create me an image of a cartoon girl walking on a dock at night while her white soul is mimicking her movements ahead of her on the water. This was the first image I got. I then told it to remove the roses and butterflies and create a new unique photo, which it did, and I like the reflection here better. But it did not remove the roses. It ignored that command. I once again told it to remove the bushes and roses at the front, but it changed the style of the drawing. What I did here is that I copied the recent image back into ChatGPT and simply told it, remove the roses from this image. As you can see here, it removed the roses, but the bushes were still there. So again, I copied and pasted the image it created with the bushes and told it, remove the grass from this image. This was the final result I got. So the key takeaways from this section are: 1. ChatGPT can retain elements from previous generations. And 2. Give it one instruction at a time and re-upload the latest image. Section 2. Reverse prompting. So when I click on My Media in ChatGPT, I'm going to show you guys how I created a specific image with reverse prompting. This lightning that you are seeing here is something I made by using a real lightning storm. I pasted that image into ChatGPT, told it to write the prompt that would create the image, and then pasted that prompt again. Once I got the lightning, I simply told it to add some pink, blue, and purple to the lightning strikes. Let's create an example together. So I am in Google now, and let's start by searching for an image of a flower with a butterfly on it. I absolutely love this picture with the pink flower and butterfly, so we'll go ahead with this one. I am now going to enter one of my chats and tell ChatGPT, write me the exact prompt that will generate this image. By doing this, we are asking it to give us a detailed prompt that will generate something similar to what we want. After letting it load for a while, here's the prompt it gave us. Notice the words like hyper-realistic and macro shot. It's also important to describe things like the mood. For example, in this case, it is telling us that the mood is serene and romantic. Other keywords like 4K resolution and the type of lighting are mentioned. This is important so we can learn how to describe things we like. I'm now going to highlight this prompt and paste it back, but we'll change a few things. Let's say that the image I had in mind was similar to the pink butterfly, but I wanted a blue butterfly on daisies. We can just insert the exact prompt that ChatGPT wrote, but tweak a few things. I am just going to change the color of the butterfly to blue and black and make sure I change the flower type to daisies. When you edit like this, you can make whatever changes you would like, but this is just our example. Now let's enter this into ChatGPT and see what it gives us. And voila! Here is our final image. It looks so beautiful. Now you can see how this ties into changing certain details that I mentioned in section 1. In terms of creating certain details, we will be covering that in the next section. So the key takeaways from this section are: 1. Use reverse prompting to generate better starting prompts. And 2. Tweak keywords like mood, lighting, and resolution to get better results. Section 3. Detailed instructions. So just to give a little bit of an explanation, I've had a lot of trouble with generating fantasy-style images with details like hair color or skin tone. Sometimes I would ask too much at once. For example, if I asked for an image of a fairy with brown skin and curly hair, it would give me those details, but it wouldn't be the exact tone of skin that I wanted. I will show you how I fixed this later on. So I gave ChatGPT the prompt, create me an image of a cartoon-style fairy with red hair and green eyes. Make it so that she is flying over a pond. This is the image I got. It has all the details and looks very cute. But let's say you want a different hair color. or a specific type of skin color? Well, we are going to use the same reverse prompting method from Section 2 and tweak a few things, as well as the copy-paste method that we learned in Section 1. So first off, I'm going to reverse prompt this image. Now that we have this, I'm going to paste it back into our chat. But let's say we want to change her hair color, dress color, and give her ballerina shoes. Well, we would have to add those details in our reverse prompt. So I am first going to edit her hair color to black, then change the dress details to black and purple. I'm also going to take out the resembling a flower part so it does not get confused, as the pink and green on her dress were supposed to resemble a flower. But we're changing the colors. Now we're going to go to Google and search for the exact type of shoe we want. In this case, I liked the pink satin split-sole ballet shoes. Now that we made all the changes we want, we are going to enter this. Here is the image it gave us. It looks amazing and is the exact same style as what we had before. Now here is the final and most interesting trick. I find that changing skin colors requires you to enter the appropriate hex code. For example, let's say that with this black and purple fairy, we want to make her skin a little more brown. It could be lighter as well. It depends on whatever tone you would like. So what I will do is go to Google and search, what is the hex code for medium brown? And we have the hex code number 7F5112. Now all we need to do is go back into ChatGPT, copy and paste the image of our purple and black fairy, and say, change her skin color to match the hex code 7F5112. And boom, we now have this final image with all of the exact changes that we wanted. I really hope this section was not too confusing, but we are starting to build on what we learned in Section 1 and 2. So putting all of these things together will really help us create amazing images. And creating amazing images will help with creating amazing realistic videos, which ties into what we will be learning in the next section. So the key takeaways from this section are: 1. You can create more complex prompts by reverse prompting and using the copy-paste method that we covered in Section 1 and 2. And 2, using hex codes and other descriptive language can create things that will blow your mind. ChatGPT may not give you the exact color you're looking for unless you specify with the hex code. Section 4. Creating realistic animations. Do you remember the image you saw of the pink and yellow roses I generated in Section 1? I turned it into the hyper-realistic, beautiful scene that you're seeing here with Claude and Sora AI. I'm going to show you how to create something like this with a photo of a real flower that I took out on one of my walks. As you can see here, I took 3 pictures of the same flower from different angles and emailed them to myself. I'm going to save my favorite angle and work with that one. Now that I have the image downloaded, I'm going to use Claude Sonnet, which is the best writer, to give me a video prompt to put into Sora AI. I always tell Claude to write it in a way so that Sora AI does not hallucinate and include the details that I would like the video to have, such as a slow camera pan and some slight wind. With whatever details you choose to put in your prompt, make sure it is not too complex. I often found myself in the past using key phrases like, use realistic physics, so Sora does not create nonsense, to be quite frank. Anyways, here is the prompt it gave me. Now, as you can see, this prompt is very long, and because Claude is a great writer, it can write things that are a bit too long. There may be some instances where you need to refine the prompt, but in this case, we are going to keep this one. So now we are in Sora AI, and we're going to paste the photo of our lilac and keep the frame ratio as 2:3. Make sure that the images you have match the ratio to the best of their capability. For example, using the 16:9 ratio on this obviously would not work, as you can see. Anyways, I'm going to keep the resolution to 480 pixels, as this will let you create longer videos and more variations in Sora AI. I always keep the variation setting to 4, so you can get the most out of the prompt and even learn from the different variations. Now, let's enter this into Sora and wait for it to load. And here you have it. The videos look like they were taken live, and they look great. The movement is subtle and realistic, and the camera is moving slowly in an unexaggerated way. It is keeping to the close-up angle that I took originally. In terms of different types of angles, I wanted to cover this in the last section, as it's very important to know the type of perspective and shot names. So the key takeaway from this section is that Claude is the best writer thus far, but you may need to refine its prompts as it does give long answers. Section 5. Shot types. So I am in Google now, and you can see here that I searched for the different types of shot names. You can see things like shoulder shot, medium shot, point of view, etc. In this example, I already gave ChatGPT a prompt saying, "Generate me a hyper-realistic bird's-eye view image of a canyon with a river flowing in between it." The mood is dynamic, 4K resolution. Notice how I included the mood, which is what we highlighted in Section 2. Anyhow, we're just going to wait for this to load. And here you have it. It is a high shot showing our canyon, with the river flowing through it exactly as we described. So, the key takeaway from this section is that if you put in a prompt and ChatGPT doesn't generate the angle you want, use different shot names to generate more specific results. That is all for this video, everyone. If you made it to the end, then thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, please subscribe and be sure to leave a comment. I will start sharing more tutorial videos on what I've learned in the future. Peace.